All right, how about a little bit of an uplifting story after that? Schools are closed. Well, that's cool. Universities, though. Okay, colleges moved to remote classes over Omicron after taking coronavirus relief funds. Yeah, no, they took all of those funds to open up their schools, make sure that it was a safe and secure environment that nobody would ever get infected ever again. Yeah, and then guess what? A couple of cases run through there, and we're going back to virtual learning because these places aren't safe. Yeah. Okay, cool. And we're going to have some cleanup from a story a couple of days ago at this point. Yeah, Chicago. Yeah, they're still closed down, and yeah, they might have a meeting on Monday to figure some shit out, but more on that in a minute. The Biden Education Department handed over more than $76 billion in coronavirus relief funding to U.S. colleges and universities. All of that money still can't stay open, but schools need to stay open. Thanks, Joe. Another broken promise. Yet many of these schools are beginning the new semester with remote classes only. Even after mandating all students take the jab and boosters. Yep, many Ivy League places have already mandated boosters. Just about every single fucking campus has a mandatory requirement in order for you to attend in-person classes. And then if you're in places like, Rutgers taking online learning, it's not like there's an instance of that of somebody who's, taking online classes, not getting vaccinated, even though they'd never be on campus, having their credentials revoked. Definitely wouldn't be happening in a place like Rutgers. Definitely wouldn't have been covered in a video on this channel. Anyways, in July, U.S. Secretary of Education Miguel Cardona announced an additional outlay from the Federal Higher Education Emergency Relief Fund, DERF, via the Democrats' American Rescue Plan, which increased the funding to more than $76 billion. And how is that tax dollars working out for you now? The American Rescue Plan provided critical funds to make sure our nation's institution of higher education, particularly those that serve students most impacted by the COVID pandemic, receive the resources they need in order to provide students with a higher quality education and social, emotional, and mental health supports to earn their degrees and thrive. So what are we going to do? Well, we're going to lock everything down so that mental health deterioration can continue, okay? So everybody can just be locked up into their own little corner and stare at their screen and type away on their keyboards. No, definitely. Anyways, these institutions have a long history of serving our students. Sure. Indoctrinating, serving, same words. Particularly students of color. Oh, God. Take that money and buy a bridge and jump off of it. First-generation college students and other students who are underrepresented in higher education. Cool. So you want to make this grandiose statement that, we're so not racist, and we're going to do all that we can. We're going to pay so much money, only to just backtrack on your entire plan. Sucks to suck. Despite the funding and its purpose, however, many schools have accepted that they are not using it to provide students with a high-quality education. Nah, stare at a screen and get the same level of education you can get from a fucking YouTube video. Brad Palumbo, opinion editor at the Foundation for Economic Education, wrote Monday at Newsweek, the move to revert to online learning amid the rise of Omicron, which has largely been associated with mild cold-like symptoms, facts, is no small matter. Well, apparently it is. It is nothing short of a betrayal of students, he asserted, and it's one that has no legitimate basis in science or public health. Palumbo said college students blocked from in-person classes, extracurricular experience, and necessary social networking interactions will ultimately encounter the harms associated with a forced laptop college education. Yeah, don't worry about that, though. You can deal with that later, okay? Eventually, when you all fail and then have to hop on the government tit, you can worry about it then. Don't worry, everything will be fine. You just get your worthless degree, okay? Gender studies will still be pumping out the same amount of fucking graduates as it always does. He added a College Pulse survey released in May of 2021 found a majority of college students believe they learned less with remote classes. Yeah. With 81% stating they experienced difficulty concentrating during online lectures. No shit. The ugly truth is the advantage of tens of thousands of dollars in tuition. Students are getting a virtual education that resembles that they could get a cheap online university or local community college. In fairness, they still get a fancy name on a degree, which many truly care about. That's probably why not many students dropped out in 2020 despite the virtual learning calamity. Yeah, but it's only happening in higher institutions, okay, where you have more mature students, okay, and they can function with the simple point-and-click nature of whatever fucking hoity-toity theoretical horseshit that they need to fucking learn in order to squeak through and get their fucking bachelor's degree in something worthless that'll be outdated in about 5 years fucking time. No, it couldn't be happening in places still like fucking Chicago, who has the same amount of funding, okay, but no, they're making a stand out there because they think, oh my god, this is so terrible. Well, classes for Chicago's 350,000 children are canceled again. This is today. No classes again today, okay? Not even virtual classes, okay? And remote learning won't start until Monday. Teachers say they won't return until kids are forced to take COVID tests. Cool. Remember, there was a study that we looked through. It came right from the CDC that said transmission. Okay, the vast majority of transmission happens from colleague to colleague, okay? It doesn't really happen between kids. It doesn't really happen from kids to teachers, okay? It happens between teachers and other well, not really elderly, but adult educators that are there in the administration staff. So yeah, jam things up the kid's nose. But for most teachers in public schools, that's the least harmful thing they could be jabbing into their students. Chicago public schools remained closed on Thursday and Friday, and lessons may not resume for its 350,000 students until Monday after a teachers' union ran by that fucking commie and city failed to come to an agreement on additional COVID-19 policies. We want everybody tested. It's the literal fucking cold. Thursday marked the second day of what the city and public school officials called an illegal strike. So what are you doing about it? Nothing? Oh, okay, cool. By the teachers union, which announced at 11 p.m. on Tuesday, members would refuse in-person learning until the district implements its demands. The CTU, led by socialist Jesse Sharkey, wants an opt-out COVID testing regime that would see pupils tested without parental consent, just like a commie would. This goes much further than the New York City and Los Angeles school districts, the two largest in the nation that require opt-in consent. Lori Lightfoot hit out at the proposal last night, Wednesday night this would have been. Okay, yeah. You're not going to be in a world where we do a quasi-medical procedure on little children without their parents' affirmative. Oh, okay, written consent. Okay, now you're starting to be based. Weird. We are not going to flip the switch and take from parents the ability to determine their own family whether or not they're going to be tested. Wow. Now all of a sudden you care about medical consent? That's, I guess, all right. CTU is also demanding that the city and public schools, Chicago public schools, ask students to provide a negative test in order to come back to in-person classes, and schools to go remote if 20% of the staff are in isolation or in quarantine. Okay, cool. Lightfoot has refused these demands that collectively go further than rules imposed in New York City and Los Angeles school districts where schools are open. But they have a friend out there, okay? Like, yeah, okay, Los Angeles has their own goofy things, and New York City continues to be a degenerate fucking failure, even under the new mayor, who we're going to be talking about over the weekend. I forget exactly what date or what time, but we're going to be talking about his fucking multiple failures. You got San Francisco out there, who is shutting down just like Chicago is, because of course San Francisco is going to do this. Their teachers union to shut down the whole system and Omicron sickout. Cool. But remember, teachers, there's nothing more than we want than being in classroom and looking after our students, because that's what we care about. Yeah, you fucking commies. But they're heroes, right? Teachers in the San Francisco Unified School District are planning a sickout on Thursday to protest what they say is a district's failure to protect them from the Omicron strain. We don't want the sniffles. We don't want the sniffles. The district's failure to protect them from the Omicron strain of the coronavirus, which is now surging in the state. Yeah, so what's their solution? More government intervention, because it's worked so fucking well. Hundreds of teachers are planning to call in sick, potentially disrupting schools, echoing the CTU vote to refuse to work this week, which resulted in the classes being canceled for a second day in a row Thursday. The informal strike action by members, the United Educators San Francisco, comes as the union is engaging in collective bargaining with the San Francisco United School District over coronavirus measures. The San Francisco Chronicle notes the state is currently experiencing a coronavirus surge that has seen hundreds of Bay Area students test positive before returning to schools. And again, what kind of symptoms are manifesting there? Yeah, they test positive. Oh, okay. 581 people have signed an online petition in support of San Francisco's sickout. Huge turnout there. As of Thursday morning, which reads in part, all right, as of today, December 29th, San Francisco is exceeding 1,000 cases per day. Oh my God. We face returning to school sites that are in violation of our health and safety memorandum of understanding between SF, USD, and UESF. We still lack the PPE, KN95 mask, comprehensive rapid testing, and improved ventilation promised to us over 6 months since a full return to in-person schooling. So what was the problem then? According to the MOU, we are entitled, oh my God, I love listening to these fucking morons and these worthless motherfuckers talk about what they're entitled to. They're entitled to a rifle butt. High quality KN95 masks at each work site. Many educators report that this has never been the case at their sites. The SFUSD website is touting its partnership with Safer Together. Oh my God, where everybody just stands around in a circle and the last one to be finished eats the cracker, to provide rapid testing trucks at school sites. Oh yeah, just fucking stick panel vans outside of public schools. What could possibly go wrong? Not the widespread rapid testing we need at each site. Let's show them we have the power. Yeah, it looks like it was really heralded by like 600 people that's out there. You guys are off to a good start. We will spread the word among our co-workers, our comrades, parents, and students as we speak to the press and community members. We must show this district, this city, this state, the country that we value human life over profit. You're in Silicon Valley, dumbass. We are tired of expending our blood, sweat, and tears. You're a teacher. Oh my God. You're literally one of the most overrated, overhyped, a job that can be done by a fucking tube television on a rolling cart. You're nothing. You're worthless. You wasted 4 fucking years of your time, okay? What's the old anecdote? Those who can't do, teach. And those who can't teach in San Francisco. And fucking complain about what they're entitled to. You're entitled to a welfare check. Oh, but anyways, yeah, to compensate for the incompetence, greed, and complacence of our so-called leaders. This is what happens when you capitulate to these fucking commies. That we demand more. Of course you do. By withholding our labor, by reclaiming our time and our health, we send the message that the SFUSD, the city, state, and federal government do not invest in seriously addressing this pandemic and the ongoing issues which make dealing with the pandemic so challenging for public schools. We can shut down the whole system, and we will. Fuck off. California received $15.3 billion from President Joe Biden's American Rescue Plan Act last year to spend on improving public school safety. Through the Democrat-run Congress, though the Democrat-run Congress gave school districts until September 30th, 2024 to spend the money. Wow, it's not like Democrats to misappropriate funds. Who could have possibly seen that happen? California had already received $13 billion for school safety during the pandemic under a relief signed by President Donald Trump to get those schools open, which they're already reneging on. But they don't want to do that because Orange Man's like really bad. You know, he incited January 6th, and that was just like a year ago yesterday. San Francisco United School District itself received nearly $100 million, which was reportedly used for a very bitchin' Christmas party to maintain core districts and school operations, to stabilize student services and resources, and to retain yada yada yada. Fuck off. Increased services for special education, which is everybody that's in the public school system in San Francisco. Targeted support for focal student groups. Okay, cool. So the gay groups are getting proper funding. Increased and improved transportation services. Oh yes, buying a whole lot of very short buses. Maintaining low staff to student ratios of counselors, school psychologists, and school nurses. Oh my God. Treating all of those self-inflicted gunshot wounds. President Biden blamed states and school districts this week for not obtaining sufficient coronavirus tests ahead of the Omicron wave. Yeah, well, I mean, come on, you should have just gave them sufficient money, Joe. What are you doing? If you would have just, I came up to him with that, he would have been like, yeah, that's a good idea. We should probably pay you guys some money. He would have forgot. He would have authorized all that fucking funding. He sought to duck blame after promising voters in 2020 campaign that he would stop the virus. Yep, once again, good job, Joe. You're really doing fucking Yowman's work out there. I can work with the unions and the states and the mayors and the different people. I'll get them all in a room and we'll just and they'll all have to listen to my fucking meandering. They'll come around to my line of thinking. Well, it's really working in San Francisco and fucking San Francisco. 2 places that voted overwhelmingly for you. So, hey, you reap what you sow, fuckers. With that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.